Hello preschool, this is Mrs. Dow and we are going to do our fish craft today. And so teachers should have sent home to each one of you a couple of supplies. They might have sent you home with a paper plate. You may have also received a googly eye in that package. We sent home your watercolors as well for the next couple weeks for you guys to use. You should also have your scissors that probably went home in your pencil case a couple weeks back. And if you want to get out some crayons or something else to color with, that's totally fine if you're not in the mood to do your paints, but I am choosing to use the watercolors today. So what I want you to do is go get your supplies, make sure you come back and have all that ready before we get started. And if you need to pause this video, go ahead and do that. Okay, so hopefully you have everything you need. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our scissors and we're going to take our plate and we're going to cut a triangular wedge out of the plate. Now, moms and dads, if you feel like you need to draw a line or a couple lines on your plate for your preschooler to cut along, that's totally fine. Go right ahead and do that. I am actually going to just do it without a line, and all I'm doing is I'm just coming in on an angle from one side and then coming back at it on another angle. And it does not have to be perfect. We're just trying to cut a wedge out of this circular shape. Okay? So once you've done that, hopefully it looks like a little bit of a fish mouth over here. Okay? Almost like a Pac-Man. And then what we're going to do is take the piece that we did cut out and we're going to glue it over here on the back so it looks like a little bit of a fishtail. Okay, so you can use glue stick, might be the easiest for your kiddo to use, and just stick that on. Does just need a little bit of a firm press for a few minutes. Now I am using the side that's a little bit more dull, the side that's curving this way. It's totally fine if you decide to use the other side. This side's a little shinier. It's got a bit of a coating. And so I wanted to watercolor, and I figured the watercolor would work better on the uncoated side. All right. And if you're feeling like this isn't going to stay down really good, you're more than welcome to use a little bit of tape, which I might even do myself here, just because we want to get going with our craft. That might even work better. So whatever you decide is going to work best for you guys right now. Okay? So the next thing I'm going to do is watercolor my fish. Before I even add his little eye, I want to just paint my whole fish and get him all colored in so he looks nice and pretty. And of course I'm saying he. This could be a he or a she. Like I said, if you're just not feeling the watercolors right now, go right ahead. You can use marker, you can use crayon. Totally fine with whatever you want to use. We just want them to be real colorful. Preschoolers really love using their watercolors. And the thing I always try and tell them is more water, less paint. You can always go back and just dab your water without even picking up any more paint, and you can just push all that color all around. Now I might need a little more color, so I can go back into my color. This just helps them to color all the white space a little quicker, because if they had to do a really thick coat of the watercolor paint, it would take a very long time. So something like this, where they're using watercolor. See, now I have to go and get a lot of water on that because there's a lot of ink there, and I can still push that around. Okay. It's starting to look like a sunset, kind of. I'm just doing stripes. Fish usually have patterns, they have spots, they have stripes. We can go back in and add some more decorations on this later on. We can add some darker stripes or dots to it. And there are all kinds of paper plate crafts out there. I've come across so many, and they're really cute and really easy and not very expensive because it's just a paper plate. Just spread that out a little there. That looks nice. Now maybe I'll finish the bottom over here. Mr. Dow does a lot of fishing, and he fly fishes, so we have all kinds of supplies and gear to go fishing, and we know a lot about trout, rainbow trout, and brook trout. We have a pond up by our cabin that we can fish on. So, and this is a paper plate, so it will probably curl a little bit on you. So once you just want to kind of encourage that plate to stay nice and flat. Okay, let me get the tail, little fish tail here, paint it in, and then we're almost done. That was dark. Let's go with something a little lighter. We can blend that. Some of our preschoolers could paint with their watercolors for a very long time. I don't know if you knew that or not, but you have a handful of them that just really love it. It's a good time filler if you ever just need something for them to stay busy with. Watercolors are super washable. Okay, so we'll go kind of stick with something like that for now. I might even go back in and add some dots, because sometimes fish have little dot patterns on them. Get a little more color. Moms and dads, if you have an extra plate at home, you're welcome to do this with your kids. It's not the easiest thing, easier said than done, I'm sure, but if you ever just feel like sitting down and doing this with them, they would love your company, I'm sure. I don't keep paper plates on hand though, so this wouldn't be something that I would have a whole lot of extra at home for my kids. Maybe I'll just add some red dots in here too. Sprinkle those in. And maybe some yellow dots. And we'll almost be done here. I can't see those as good, but I know they're there. Okay, cool. Looking pretty good. Now what we'll do is, I think we will add the eye. We'll add our fish eye. That's gonna look really cute. So you've got wet glue. The nice thing about watercolors is this is pretty much dry by the time you're ready to glue down. Unless your kiddo got real messy there and did a little more than they needed to. Let me see if I can even get this going. Oh, it's got a little, I probably have to break the seal. I might grab another one. Okay, let me see if this one's ready to come out. We don't really use wet glue too much because preschoolers can tend to just overdo the wet glue. They get much better at it in kindergarten. So glue sticks are always a little bit more of our choice of glue in preschool, but googly eyes sometimes have a little hard time sticking to glue stick, so wet glue works nicely for that. So there is your fish. I'm going to close up my paint here because I'm pretty much done with that. Move that aside. And then some of you may have even been sent home some colored streamers. Okay, so if you got some colored streamers, you're welcome to add a few of those on. And if you didn't get any of those, maybe you have something around the house that you might even want to use. So something like that. I think what I'll do is I'll use my glue stick for that. Flip him over without knocking his eyeball off. Get a good amount of glue on there. See if I can swirl that up. There we go. Okay. Now let's see if I can stick that one down. And that one. One more. And flip them back. That is pretty cool. We're ready to go. And if you want to trim them, maybe they don't need to be that long. Something like that. Super cute. And there's your fish. I hope you had fun doing that. You can get creative anytime you want at home. If you have some like little sequins or anything else you want to add to your fish, you're more than welcome to do that. You can be as creative as you want. You can even add a hook. You want to punch a hole at the top, add a little string, and maybe he would be fun to hang. All right, there you go. Hope you enjoyed that.